Your competition, they woke up a couple hours early this morning. They're staying up a couple hours later tonight. Right now, they're signing up for a couple more classes this semester. Or they're putting in a couple extra sets, a couple extra reps. Right now, they're going a little harder than you. They're on the other side of the planet and they're getting excited because they're after that dream that you want. They're after that life that you want. And I'm here to tell you today that you need to wake up with that mindset that nobody is gonna take that life away from you. Nobody. You gotta get so amped up, so excited, because this is your life that you're after. And nobody's gonna come in between you and that life that you're chasing. Hey world, this video's on competing, y'all. This video's on competing to the highest level to get that life that you guys want, to get that life that you guys are after, to get to that next level, to get to that dream spot that you are after. It's competing, it's non-stop competing, y'all. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop to get to the top. There isn't any rules to this, guys. You gotta have that laser focus. You gotta think about that competition, that next guy. Maybe he walks into the room and you see that he wants it just as bad as you. Well, you gotta kick him out of the way and just chase it day after day after day. I want you to just get under their skin and drive them absolutely nuts because they can't keep up with the level of intensity towards the dream and that next promotion and that draft spot or that spot on the team that you're after. You gotta go after it every day. And I want you to get under their skin because they just can't keep up with you. Some of you all think you're competing, but you only kinda want it. You don't want it bad enough. And let me tell you, life's gonna sneak up on you. Life's gonna come around 5-10 years when one or two people have passed you up, and you're gonna look back and say, why am I not going a little harder? And I'm here to tell you today what you gotta do to get to that level. So let's go, let's get into the process on competing, y'all. All right, y'all, so first, that person that's in your life that's competing with you, I don't know if they're at the job site, I don't know if they're, in the corporate setting, I don't know if they're on the playing field, I don't know if they're in the gym or whatever it is, that person you're competing with, you might want out of your life. You might want them to get out of your way completely. Well, let me tell you, that person's there and they're making you better every single day. You should embrace the challenge, embrace them showing up the work, embrace them coming up behind you and seeing the work you put in. I want you getting so hungry that you start to piss them off because they can't do the amount of work, the amount of effort you're putting in every single day, y'all. Every single day, you're bringing so much fire to that workplace. You're bringing so much fire. You're putting in extra sets, extra reps. You're waking up an hour or two earlier. You're staying up an hour later. You're putting in the work, and that person cannot keep up with you. You need to embrace that person being there because they're gonna make you bigger. They're gonna make you stronger because you got somebody on your butt chasing you. So you need to use that energy and just drive harder and harder and let it mold you into a stronger individual. Now let me tell you a story about a time that I was competing with somebody. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I got beat, y'all. I got beat. And let me tell you, it hurt me so bad. It was soul crushing at the time. It took me weeks to get over the fact that I got beat and I had known I was the better person. I had been told I was the better person. And I still got beat, and let me tell you, that burned so bad inside. But let me tell you what else. The lesson that I got out of that process, let me tell you what else. I went home, I started grinding a little harder. I started putting together like material for that workplace that had never been seen before. I started bringing a passion at that job site that had never been seen before. I started bringing stuff to the table that I knew nobody could possibly touch. And I've promised myself that to the next level, I guarantee the next promotion, I will not let anybody beat me to. And that's what happened. I jumped 2 spots ahead of that person before they ever got there. because getting beat that one time and going through that process just made me stronger. So that's what it's gonna be sometimes. Sometimes you might get beat. You might be the better person and you might get beat. But what's gonna define you is how you take and how you react to that. What's gonna happen after you get defeated? Are you gonna just quit and just head on home and just, call it a day, call it a life? Or are you gonna rise up to the occasion, become bigger and stronger and grind harder and just ensure that person don't beat you again to the next spot? Yeah, that's the way you gotta think, guys. Now, remember this. Just because there's nobody in your environment right now, maybe you're at the gym early and you're working out and there's nobody in sight, there's nobody around you to compete with. Remember, they're on the other side of the state. They're on the other side of the country. Maybe they're not in the next cubicle as you, but somewhere in that company, there's somebody competing for that spot and you're not gonna let them get it. You gotta have that in the back of your mind. You gotta have that in the back of your mind and compete every single day. Because just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not grinding a little harder than you. And you gotta keep that in the back of your mind, that there's somewhere somebody's grinding a little harder. They're putting in a little extra. They're pumping a few extra sets. They're out to take that life that you want away from you for themselves. All right, now I got 5 steps. Y'all. I got 5 steps that's gonna help you compete a little harder. Number 1, wake up early. You guys gotta wake up earlier, because that person, they might be waking up an hour. If you're waking up at 7, they might be waking up at 5 and getting it in. You gotta think about that. Kobe Bryant said it best. Kobe said he was waking up and getting an extra workout, an extra practice in every single day, because he was watching what the players around him were doing and he wanted to one-up them. He said after 5 years, that one extra practice has turned into such a big advantage that they can't even keep up. He once said that when a player would enter the practice court before a game and they saw him in warm-ups in a dead sweat, he would just never leave until they had already quit and went on for the day. Kobe said the reason he wouldn't quit when that player was in the middle of his practice is because he wanted them to know that he was just willing to work that much harder than them. Oh man, that right there, yeah. That's the kind of mentality that you gotta have. That's Kobe Bryant. That's that assassin's mentality, that ain't no man gonna come into that gym and prove to outwork Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant wanted to be the best. Kobe Bryant wanted to be the next Jordan. Kobe Bryant woke up and put one extra practice in every single day and stayed up and put one extra practice in every single night just to ensure he was at one point the next Michael Jordan. All right, y'all. Now, number 2, avoid distractions. These distractions are everywhere in your life. And let me tell you, you gotta have that mentality that next guy, he's not surfing social media sites. You gotta have that mentality that this person is not just lounging around watching TV. You gotta have that mentality that next competitor is not sleeping in. You gotta have that mentality that they are grinding a little harder. These distractions are taken away from you competing with your competition. They're taken away with you being that much better than that next guy. You gotta compete, y'all. All right, number 3, research top players in your game. All right, now let me explain. So let's use Kobe Bryant again as an example. So you think Kobe Bryant was for one moment watching what the second string was doing when he was coming up? Do you think Kobe Bryant was studying the second string guys? Do you think he cared about, this guy that had been on the bench for years and years and years? I doubt it. Kobe Bryant studied Michael Jordan's game and even wanted to one-up it. Kobe Bryant put on that number 24 because he said he wanted to be one better than Jordan. That's the mentality. That's the mentality I'm talking about. Kobe Bryant said, I'm gonna study the greatest to ever do it, and I'm gonna go out and try to one up that. And that's how you gotta be. Okay, let's say you're in sales or you're in the corporate setting. You need to find the best one in the game, the best person in that job setting. And watch how they're doing it and try to one up that. You just need to replicate that for yourselves and one up what they're doing. What do they do on a daily basis to make sure they stay on top of the game? And go out there and execute on that and go one up on that every single day. And relentless on your competition. Now this is what I mean. You gotta drive that person absolutely nuts, because if they're competing with you and can't keep up, it's gonna keep them up at night. They can't keep up with you, and it's gonna be frustrating to them because they want that spot, and you're going an extra hour early. You're going an extra hour later. You're putting in those extra sets, those extra reps. I want y'all getting under their skin, just driving them nuts. Being relentless, because that's your spot. That's your spot. Don't you go and let them take that from you. You rise up to the occasion. You push them out of the way. You go and get it. All right, and finally, you gotta have that laser focus. Have that laser focus. This goes back to the distractions. The only thing that matters is the dream. The only thing that matters is that next promotion. The only thing that matters is getting into the NFL or into the NBA or into whatever you're trying to do in life. That's the only thing that matters. And there's no ha-ha or hee-hee and when you're trying to get there. It is a business matter, y'all. You wake up and you just have that laser focus until you finish for the day. Until you finish. It's okay. I'm not saying don't be a social being. No, by all means, that's important. But when you're clocked in, when you're at the gym, when you're there to do business, you're there to do business. When you clock in, you're there to do work. You're not there to, we're not there to play games. Playing games is only going to set you back, all right? Playing games, laughing and shooting the breeze is only going to set you back. You're there to win. You're there to win. That's the mentality you gotta have. That's the mentality you gotta have. Laser focus. You're walking into that job or gym or whatever it might be, and you're accepting nothing less but getting to that goal, and nothing's gonna get in your way. You're just like a soldier, just marching to the goal every single day, and you don't stop until you get there. All right, y'all, now that we covered those 5 things, I just want to say, if you do those 5 things, if you wake up every single day, put in a little extra in the morning, a little extra at night, and you grind with laser focus, you just get under their skin and you grind every single day, I guarantee you're gonna win through the process. You're gonna go through the process, and even if you get beat, I promise you, there's something to take from that experience that's gonna get you and catapult you a little higher the next time. When it was for me, I remember I just wanted that next promotion. But even though I didn't get that promotion before the guy I was competing with, what I got was, I learned about this passion I had. I learned that I would take the time out of my day and just put in a little extra, I bring in material to work that had never been seen before. I was doing documents basically that had never been seen before, and I was bringing it to make the store I was at better. And nobody at all was doing, nobody's going home and doing documents and bringing it to work to help make the store better. But I was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to set myself apart from my competition. Any more competition that's out there, I'm gonna set myself apart. And that's what I learned through that process. So now going through life now, I got that life lesson that I learned. And even though I got beat, what I took from that process was far more valuable than that next promotion. And it took me about another several months to get there. But I have that valuable lesson that I still hold to this day. So I'm telling y'all, y'all need to get up, get out there and compete, and don't let no man come in the way of you achieving your dream. You wake up an extra hour early, you stay up an extra hour late, you put in those extra sets, those extra reps, you take that extra course, you do that little extra, you bring those documents, you do that extra, that extra work on the computer, you take the time to put in that little extra on that work you're about to submit. You do that little bit extra from your competition. You be on that passion for progress every single day, and you're just gonna develop into such a strong individual. You're gonna be, directly on the path to success. This has been a Passion for Progress, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you next week.